Hey guys, I hope you're doing well. I'll just do another video there. It's just going to be on drawing this time. So what we'll need is a piece of paper and two pencils. A light pencil, which is a HB I have here, and the second one I have is 6B. This is what I usually use, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep to the same idea that I'm going to have a light and dark pencil, but for the purposes of the video I'm going to use a 6B as a light pencil just so it's clear that you can see on the piece of paper. And I'm actually going to use a marker, and that's just so it gets clearer in the video than it is with the pencils. So you can use two pencils, one light, one dark. So what we're going to do is do one point perspective drawings. That is basically turning two-dimensional shapes into three-dimensional perspective. So I'll actually just write that up at the top. So 1 point perspective. Now this is a thing that I would do myself, even my sketchbook when I'm kind of sitting around, just kind of doodling away. It's a good practice, and it's thought provoking as well. First thing we're going to do is draw a line. So what I'm going to try to get you to do is do freehand drawing. That is when basically you draw only with your hand. You don't use any other tools. So yeah, so I'm just going to use it. I hope you try it as well. The more you freehand drawn, the better you get at it. So what I'm going to draw is a line from left to right, which is going to be a horizon line. So there you go. So the first thing. Second then is I'm going to get a point at the center, which is this. It's called a vanishing point. And the reason that it's called a vanishing point, all the lines in this drawing will connect to this point and out. So it's almost like they're vanishing into the center point. Right. So the first thing is I'm going to keep the squares. So I'll start off with a square and we'll change it into a cube, and we'll do it all around the sheet. So the first one I'll do is actually I'll do a square going around the center point, which is the vanishing point. Okay. And now what I want you to do is draw squares and shapes like that, rectangles all the way around the sheet. So this is all light drawing first. I'll draw in a rectangle, different sizes, different widths and all the rest of it. The more the merrier. So they're just two-dimensional shapes, squares at the moment, and we'll change them then into three dimensions. Like we'll get them from a square into a cube. So the first thing is we'll start off at the center one. So what I'll do is from the vanishing point out to the corner here. Vanishing point out to the corner there. Vanishing point out to the corner. Vanishing point out. Okay. So then inside the square that we've drawn, we're going to connect these angled lines we have just created from the vanishing point. So this line, we're going to bring a smaller version inside here. Smaller line inside here. And again, all the way around. There. So the whole idea is it looks like a three-dimensional box. So I'll just darken it in just for now. So this is what we can see. And this is like the part of the box we can't actually see. There. Right, so that's the first one. So the next one is what I'll start on this one here. So the same idea. So from the vanishing point to each corner. So there to there. From this corner back to the vanishing point. Again, from the corner back to the vanishing point. And again. That's the first stage. Okay. So now what we're going to do is, so this line here, I'm going to bring it up a bit down. So from this line here, we're going to draw a horizontal line connecting these two corner lines. And then from this point here, we just create, draw it up to this higher line up here. And the same thing, this line, we're going to connect it to this angle line up here. And from there, right across. There, so it has an idea. It looks like more of a cube. I'll darken it a little later on. So the whole way through, I want you to get to do that for every square. Every corner of the box goes from the corner out to the vanishing point. Every one of them, all around. So I'll start off anyway. So I'll just do them. I'll just connect them all first, and then I'll do the next stage afterwards. So these are going to be the light lines. Get as close as you can. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's more about the task and the steps involved. Okay. Every corner touches the vanishing point. And in real life, vanishing point is only an imaginary point. It's not an actual point of reference. It's just something that we create so we can actually get a good understanding of how to change from two-dimensional object to a three-dimensional object. And then say here. Okay. And I have one more actually. Right, there you go. So I'll start on this one here. So the line going from this corner to the vanishing point and this corner to the vanishing point. I'm going to get a line that connects the two of them like this here, but back further. So, and then from this corner, like here, it's going from this to this. So I'm going to do the line that's connecting from the vanishing point to here. I'm going to connect it. And where that connects, we're going to bring it down to this imaginary line here. There, it connects all up. There. So it's going from a square into a kind of a rectangle shape. I'm going to go fly around and do the exact same thing, so it's going to be connecting all these lines. It's not going to be perfect, but you're going to get the idea of this technique down. And lastly is this one here. I've pretty much changed them all into rectangles, because I've given a bit of a space between the initial drawing and the second drawing. I have one more here, so I'll just. There. I'll do one more here actually too. So I'm just using the lines I created to create the dimension of the 3D object. You can do more. Just test it out. So you can try different shapes, different size squares. You can actually, I'll make it an actual square just for the sake of it now, because I've just made them all into rectangles. And the only difference is, same premise, exact same step. So you just go corner, corner. The difference is I'll keep it closer. It's a bit off, but so what I'll do is I'll go in and I'll use the marker here just to give you a clear look at the shapes I created. I'm just going to draw around the shape just to clearly show you what we've done, what objects we've created. Again, it's a good thing just to doodle around with. Mix it up, mix and match. The more complex, the more boxes, the more interesting. There's a lot of energy going on. And again, it works on your freehand drawing skills as well. everybody can draw a square, so everybody can actually use this technique. Doesn't have to be realistic or anything like that. It's just a drawing technique that you can just doodle away with. As I say, I still use it to this day. So you'll see it's 1 point perspective. The reason that it's 1 point perspective is because we're only using 1 point. The vanishing point, there's only one. There's 2 point, 3 point, and it goes up to 6, 7 point perspectives. We'll start on this. So this is the horizon that we've had. I'll just label it. That's this line going left and right. The VP is vanishing point. That's this. And 1 point is because from 1 point to every shape or every corner that we've created. And I'll darken the last one here. There. The drawing technique I think is very enjoyable, and it can test you as well. Sometimes you have to figure out how the shape is supposed to look, and obviously then you can actually put in shading. For example, what you'll notice, anything that's above this horizon, you'll be looking underneath the box. Anything below it, you'll be looking at the top of the box. So for the sake of it, I'll just hatch the bottom of it so it'll cast a shadow. So the bottom of the box will be so there, and then here, and then for example, that gives you an idea. So that's the shadow, and anything below the line, you're looking at the top of the box. Okay, that's it. So you can do that on any piece of paper. You don't need that much. I use basically 2 pencils on a page, or even 1 pencil on a page. You can just use it as darker lines. Something that you can doodle around with. You'll discover more by doing it, and it can test you, which is the best part about it. The more boxes, the more complex it gets, the more challenge it can get as well. So give it a go there. You don't need much to do it. And sure, here we'll move on to 2 and 3 point perspective and see how we get on. But start off on this and keep on doing it. Like, don't worry about how accurate the lines are. All there are guides, and then use the darker line to confirm the shape. So yeah, give it a go, and yeah, enjoy it. And sure, here I'll talk to you soon there, guys. Right, take care.